Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to this awareness vlog. um, I am today going to talk about pilonidal sinus, which happened to me in March 2017. Right now I am on a post recovery, and my surgery was done on 25th August 2023. um, I would like to say that it has been a really painful journey, starting from 2017 till 2023. I think it counts up to 6 years and plus. The purpose of making this video is to create awareness for those who are victims of it or who are suffering from it, because I did a lot of research on it, because I was in pain. I was in search of people who have been through it and how they are trying to cope up with their daily lives. So it happened with me when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was 3 months pregnant when I developed a very small pimple type of thing on the tip of my spinal cord or the backbone. And I started having fever. My taste deteriorated. I felt things were very bitter in taste, and I didn't pay much attention to it because I have very sensitive skin, and my skin is very prone to pimples and all. So I didn't took it much seriously. Later on, within a week, the size gradually started increasing, and within almost a span of 15 days, it developed into a um, small um, table tennis ping pong ball, the size of that ball. Just to give the reference, I am quoting the name of the tennis ball. Yes, the table tennis ball. Anyways, when it you know one fine morning when I woke up and I saw the size, I was really scared that what is happening with me. And the pregnancy hormone, the HCG hormone, it gradually increases from the first till third month, and after that it starts to decrease. So I went to my gynecologist, and she said that it may have occurred because of the changes in your body, the changes in the hormones, and we cannot do anything to treat it right now because we cannot give you any antibiotics. So you can use hot compresses, you can use mild painkillers, and we will wait for it to drain naturally. I was in hell pain. I was crying with pain, but there was no option. And then one fine midnight, it was like around 12 o'clock, and suddenly it started to drain. And as it started to drain, I felt so much relief in my body. My fever started to get mild. It was a relief. I cannot describe the exact feeling, but it was a sign of relief in the body. I felt so much relaxed, and it drained out completely. After the drainage of pus, there was some blood in it, but it eventually drained. After that, I started off with some antibiotics, but that I had to use uh, uh, in a very small quantity. And the antibiotics I'm talking about were the ones that we could apply on the skin. And like, I used to keep a tissue paper, and it used to drain, and somehow I passed my pregnancy. After my delivery, And I think 2 months past my delivery, I again went to the dermatologist and I told her that it keeps on draining. And now, as I'm free from everything, you can you can start with whatever procedure you want to. So that dermatologist started off with few antibiotics, and the dose that was given to me was augmentin. They started with 250 mg, then 650 mg, and they brought me till 1 gram. Yeah. So it was a 6 months course, and with that antibiotic, they started with some retinoids, and they gave me some steroid with the name of Delta Cortisol, if I remember, and I started gaining weight. I started putting on a lot of weight. I was the person who was very slim and smart, who used to eat everything, who used to do everything, but there was never that chubbiness even in my pregnancy. I was very slim, I was very smart. The only weight that I had put on was the belly fat, which even gradually started to wither off because of feeding to my child. And I was good, like I was very happy with it. But with those steroids, without even informing me that they are giving me steroids, I was put on steroids. I am the person who is never a meetha lover, and I don't like to have much sweets in my diet. I like more of spices, and I felt a craving for that sweet. I wanted to have ice creams. I wanted to have mithais, which I have never had in my life, but I just wanted to have anything that is sweet. It should have been a part of my diet, whether it was lunch, it was dinner, and even at times I used to have something sweet like a French toast in my breakfast. And I started eating like a, you know, like a very obese person. Then what happened? Family started noticing, and everybody was like, hey, what are you doing to yourself? Why are you gaining so much weight? Why are you putting on so much fat? But I was like, I'm on medication. The doctor has said that once you will be done with the course, we will you will lose the weight. I said fine. But after 6 months, my skin was very glowing, like there were no pimples and all, but the sinus was there. It used to like shrink with the medicines, but it was there. Its existence was there. Then one fine day, I was totally fed up of everything. I was more anemic, and that day I decided that I'm just going to leave everything and let it be like that. So after that period, it was very difficult for me to cut down my diet, to cut down all those carbohydrates that I was taking unnecessarily. It took me a lot of time, but I still can't shed all the weight that I had put on. The I think the maximum weight I had put on was 95 kg, and that was a very big figure for me. And then trying my best, but the problem with me was that I couldn't do any vigorous exercise. I couldn't walk properly because I had that the sinus was growing bigger in size, and it it was draining badly, and it was getting very painful day by day. But you know, when you are a mother of two, you have a lot of mother duties. I was also doing some business, a clothing line, and it was very difficult for me to pay attention to myself. My kids were very young, so all my time was busy with household chores, then managing the business and the children itself. So life was getting very busy, very tiring, and The mistake I did over there was that I neglected myself. I regret it today that if I would have shown up to a good surgeon instead of a dermatologist, things would have been much better for me. After the um, after the fear of these steroids and all, I diverted to homeopathic, and you are so exhausted that you want to take anything that can cure you. I tried a lot of homeopathic medicines. I took a lot of homeopathic medicines, and till like for 5 years or 6 years, I was on homeopathic. But things were not getting in favor. It was just like it used to decrease in size, but it existed, and the dead tissues and all that uh, pockets of hair, they became like a pocket. They turned into a pocket which kept on draining, and I used to keep around 7 plies of tissues because it used to drain. Then cutting it short, only my immediate family knew about this. They knew about this disease, they knew about this pain that I was suffering from. But Alhamdulillah, I never showed up this thing to anyone. I never discussed it with anyone, and I tried my best in a hope that one day I will get rid of it naturally. I did not want it to go through a surgery because I was not mentally ready for it. I knew that the place is the main, the backbone of your body, and once they are going to operate, I'm going to be on bed rest for months. And this is what exactly happened. But the bad thing about it was that it has been around 6 years. I have not slept straight in bed. It's always the it's always that I need some supporting pillows to keep under my back. Only then I could rest or like straight on bed. Otherwise, no. Koi, there was no solution to it. But I think I developed or I started to live with it. It was a part of my routine. My husband used to say, my parents used to say that you need to go, you need to get it done. You just get it off. Koi baat nahi, we will look after the children, we will do this. But there was a fear. To be honest, the fear of all those injections and that uh, anesthesia and everything, that was something really devastating for me. And being a working woman, um, I was like, "Okay, I really don't have time for this right now. We will see, and that we will see grew it to 7 into, I think, point 0.5 into 6 centimeters. That was the last figure that we got in the MRI. We went to Skardu for a vacation, and the story is that my brother called me up and he said that your birthday is coming on 31st August, and but your children are going to start with your school with their school. So what I want you is, okay, go for a vacation. Uh, I had to close my business in July, and it was a sense of depression for me. I was feeling very lonely. I was feeling like a loser in my life who has accomplished nothing. And that was the time when he called me up and he said, go for a vacation. And he gave me two options. He said that you go for a trip to Skardu, And the second option is that you and Zishan Bhai go for an Umrah trip. That's for me. Uh, I had two options, and obviously, when it comes to performing minor pilgrimage or Umrah, a spiritual Muslim is going to opt for that. But I thought for a while, I said, "Yeah, I don't, I don't feel pure. I don't feel purified because it is something that is constantly blood and pus is always draining from my back. My clothes are always dirty. I have to change clothes twice a day, and that's very painful for me. So I and one thing more, since I have developed this disease, I couldn't perform qiyam in my namaz. Qiyam is standing while you pray, and I couldn't perform ruku because I had a lot of stress on my back. So I used to sit and pray. And all those 5 years I used to miss. I really used to miss the time when I used to perform qiyam in my namaz and in my prayers, because when you perform namaz the way you want to, you are young and you want to show Allah your devotion. I didn't used to feel that devotion in my prayer while sitting. So at that moment I thought that Allah Ta'ala, I I intend to perform Umrah, and I intend to perform Hajj, but I'm sorry, but I can't do it. I can't do it because I don't feel purified. I feel a lot of pain. And Umrah I had performed in 2016, so I know that it requires a lot of hardship. It is like it is not that easy, and when you're not even like when you're not feeling purified from your inner self, how can you perform Umrah the way it is with all the rituals? So I discussed it with my mother, and she said, hold on, go for a trip, divert your mind, feel the nature, and um, we will go together. I said, okay, that's something my mother has said, so okay, fine. We'll go to Skardu, and then later sometime I'll go for Hajj. But I had that thing in my mind that I cannot do. And we went to Skardu, and Skardu was heaven on earth for me. And heaven on earth, the those 8 9 days I really enjoyed. My brother did everything for me. He planned it like an outclass trip for us, and everything was superb. But while traveling over there were times when I was handicapped. I couldn't travel, I couldn't sit. The flight was very difficult for me because I couldn't fit in the seat of the plane. It was my back used to ache a lot as soon as the seat used to touch it. And when I came back, I was in so much of pain that I decided to go to a surgeon and take an opinion. We went to the best surgeon available, and he just simply said, don't worry, dear, we'll just cut it out, and we'll keep the wound open. You just have to do a dressing, a small dressing, and you'll be fine. You can do your household work, anything you want to do, you'll be fine within a week. And painkillers, he said, oh my god, you're going to say in 2 days or 2 days time, I don't want any painkillers. He made it so simple for me. He made it so easy for me that I was like, Acha, why was I bearing this much of pain earlier? It could have been much easier for me. And that was a time when he, uh, I don't know what he told my husband, but my husband didn't tell all those things to me before the surgery. And within 4 to 5 days, like he told me to get an MRI done. I got my MRI done, and it was itself a very painful process for me because I had to lie down in that machine for 2 hours. It was pelvis in contrast MRI, and first in the first hour it was done with the like pelvic alone, and the other one was done with the contrast. So 2 hours in a machine lying straight. The machine was not a pain for me. The pain was that I was lying straight on my back, and that sinus was just get stinging with pain for me. Well, in the MRI report, it was 11. It was 7 into 6 into 0.5 centimeter that it showed its dimensions, and 7 centimeters is a big um, measurement on the scale. Anyways, my mother said, "I'm going to look after the kids." My family supported me a lot. Everyone was like, "We are going to look after the kids. You look after yourself first. You get well, everything will be well." And then everything was there on my mind. Those 5 6 years that I couldn't play with my children, I couldn't do my daily activities. People used to say very easily, and people say it very easily, that you have put in a lot of weight, and why aren't you shedding it? Why aren't you going to the gym? Uh, you know, uh, people say what they want to say, but they don't know what the other person is suffering through. I really regret the time I could have given to my children, but I couldn't give to them because I wasn't well, and I didn't want to leave them alone. And right now I'm on bed rest, so I know what it feels like. It's only it's only the immediate family that stays with you, that looks after you, and there are people who say that, how did it happen? So I remember going to walking to the lift and to the room, and then the staff coming in with